now.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, like George stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Hey, great, welcome. This is a regular meeting of the Board of Trustees for the town of Silverton. The date is July 28th. It is 5:33. I'll call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Trustee Robertson?
Here.
Trustee Wakefield? Trustee Schnicker?
Here.
Trustee Gardner?
Here.
Trustee George?
Here.
Member Tim Harper? Mayor Kränker?
Great, yes, sure. Thank you. All right, now moving on to staff or board revisions to the agenda. Does staff have any revisions? No. Revisions? Okay. All right, we'll now move on to public comment. We'll take public comment in person first. If you're here, so a couple of notes. If you're here for any of the public hearings related to the variances later, you can save your public comment for that public hearing. If you have another public comment about something else on the agenda or something that's on your mind, you're welcome to give your public comment. We'll start with in-person public comment. You can come to the podium, introduce yourself. You'll have 3 minutes to speak, and then we can go to Zoom public comment. If you're on Zoom and you'd like to make a public comment, you can click the raised hand button and we'll promote you to panelist. And you also can introduce yourself and you'll have 3 minutes to speak. So do we have any in-person public comment? You're welcome to come to the podium. Go ahead. Yeah,
Oh.
if you'd like to.
Wasn't sure. I'm sure you've all, let me get it up, like side up here. I'm sure you've all seen this map. It's downstairs. We have it in plenty of places in town. We're trying to get it in more places. I'm not gonna hold it up on trees.
Great. And did you want to introduce yourself?
Sorry, what?
Did you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Norm Fish and it's the San Juan Triangle Organization. It's all free and we're just trying to support Silverton and the San Juan Triangle. And that's the reason I'm here. Roll those up real quick. We also have these flyers. I'll just leave them here. You can pass them out. The problem is we've been trying to get the visitor center. I guess that's being run by the Chamber of Commerce. And we've been trying to get this map put up down there. We think people coming in should see the map, give out these flyers to people. We're giving out thousands of these now, but unfortunately not there. We tried this last year. We got the map up for about a week and the person that runs the Chamber of Commerce made it very clear that she has no interest in Silverton, no interest in the San Juan Triangle, only the Chamber of Commerce and I guess herself. And she took the map down, put these aside, gave them back to us, and that's the end of it. This website supports very heavily Silverton. We've got almost every business in town advertising on that. If you looked at it, almost every business in town. We don't think it's right that the visitor center should not be supporting Silverton. They are getting Silverton money to run that operation, as far as what I was told anyway. And I would very much like to have something done so that that map is put up there. It was up for a week right next to the thermostat. There's a nice big place on the wall where they can put it, and the people that work down there put it up, and the person that runs it found out about it and took it right down again. So we'd like to have that map put up where the public can see it. Give these flyers out. They're free. I'll keep them supplied in flyers, give these out to people. And so that we're supporting Silverton and the businesses in Silverton. Right now, at least from that standpoint down there, we're not getting very far. We're getting pretty good here in town with the county, but not down there. So if you have any questions, I mean, that's probably my 3 minutes. Do you have any questions on this? Okay.
Fine. Typically, we don't do a response, but
Sorry?
typically we don't do a response, but we appreciate your comment.
Okay.
Thank
I'll leave these here. You can look at the website. You'll see what I'm talking about. Trying to help Silverton.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks. Do we have any other in-person public comment not related to the public hearing? Okay, if you're on Zoom and you'd like to make a public comment, you can click the raise hand button and we will promote you to panelist. All right, seeing none, we'll close public comment and we'll move on to agenda item 4, the consent agenda.
And just a couple highlights in this consent agenda. We have June financials. These were updated from the Finance Committee meeting last Monday. You'll notice that the revenue for water, sewer, and refuse has been updated from the actuals presented because there was a step missed actually in reconciliation. So we have reconciled everything, and so it is a little higher than last Monday.
Thank you. The Finance Committee was a little bit concerned, and so very appreciative that it was a procedural step and that the revenues are adjusted to reflect that. Any other questions on the consent agenda? I'd call out the grant update. There's a lot of grants that the staff is managing. And there are a variety of comments in those actuals. So again, if anybody listened to the Finance Committee, look to these actuals for more updated numbers. All right, I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Harrison?
Yes.
Trustee Wakefield?
Yes.
Trustee Schnicker?
Yes.
Gardner?
Yes.
Trustee George?
Yes.
President Harper?
Yes.
Mayor Cranker?
Yes. Great, thank you. All right, moving on to staff reports.
Right, so for the staff reports, we wanted to show you our website and kind of some of the stuff we've been doing. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. Or real slow, we'll see how that goes. Okay.
And while Gloria's doing that, I did ask Gloria the other day, I was like, the website's looking so updated and easy to use, and who is doing this? It looks amazing.
That is our deputy town clerk.
Yeah, Val has been working really, really hard on the website.
I use that same backend software for a public health website, and it is not that.
Okay, so on the first page, we try and keep this updated because we know that, you know, people need that immediate information. So we have, you can pay your utility bills here. You can get meeting packets and information, pay parking tickets, and also just view our fee schedule. Our fee schedule is also broken out on each department webpage. So if you go down to departments and you're looking for, say, planning, this is a great one, very updated right now. Good job. And you can view our land use code, projects and plans, forms, application and fees. That's where you can see the fee schedule again. So just wanting to highlight this as something that we all can use. If you go down here on this, you can do personalization options. So this is part of our accessibility initiative. So this will help if you need font size or contrast or any kind of things that you might need to view the page. We also have over here online payments. So you can click on online payments, and this gives you all the payment options that we have available and the links. So business license, vacation rentals, lodging fees, tax remittance forms. So you can click on either of those. And then speaking of forms, if you go to services and you go to forms and applications, you can see that we have all the forms you could ever want to fill out for bureaucracy to move forward.
Very soon, there will be a new trash form.
And we have one more form that we are adding to this, and that will be our new trash form for visiting guests and those that want to use our dump that are not residents. Below this section here, we also have our community announcements here, and we've kept this this calendar updated so people can click on that on an upcoming meeting and either link directly to the meeting from here. So that's an option as well. We have some community information at the bottom and how to join our town meetings. So really just wanted to highlight these updates on our site and hope that people are using them.
Can you show people, for anybody who's watching, how they can get to the trustees' emails or information? Because it's very easy. If you
Thanks.
share with all of us, you can email us all with one click of a button.
click here to email all trustees right there.
Share too much.
And then also contact us if you go there. You can sign up for our email list and starting next month, we will have a newsletter going out. So we're calling it the Town Bulletin. So that is where you can sign up for our email list.
Great, that's awesome.
Any questions on our website?
No questions, it looks great.
That's a big improvement over the last couple of years. So thanks, Val. I wanted to, in staff reports, give a big shout out to Melina for her big accomplishment a couple of weekends ago at the Silverton Alpine Marathon. And our very own Lindsay Halverson ran the Kendall Run. So we have talented group here. One was a little bit more impressive. So it's hard. Kendall is hard.
Oh, that's hard. That's a hard run.
Melina, you're very inspiring. Any other questions or comments from the board on staff reports or the website?
I did want to comment that we do have a new Facilities, Parks and Rec Director who has been promoted up. His name is Steve Mead. So he will be starting his position on the 11th after a much needed vacation after being an interim and doing double duty. So he will be back with us on the 11th. In the meantime, we are covering the position through myself and Melina and Val and John and just eager for Steve to come back and start. And then we are going in-house for the Public Works Administrative Coordinator position, and applications closed today for that position. And then we are looking to hire a contracted wedding coordinator soon. So we are putting that together on what that might look like. Because after the four of us taking on this position, we are realizing we really need that help.
Yeah.
Event coordinator, wedding coordinator, somebody.
We're still working on that part of
On
it.
point.
It would probably be a contracted part-time position. So that's my update outside of all this.
Any board questions, comments? Okay, moving on from staff reports, moving on, we don't have any presentations or proclamations, so we'll move on to agenda item 7, our business items. We'll first have 7A. So just kind of a reminder, and Gloria and Lucy can give us some guidance on this. We will be operating as the Board of Adjustments during these public hearings. So a little bit different than the Board of Trustees. We will be the Board of Adjustments, and this will be Board of Adjustments public hearing for variance application for 869 Green Street. So as a public hearing, it'll be like our typical process. We'll hear from staff, we'll hear from the applicant, and we'll hear public comment. So it'll be staff, the applicant, and public comment, and then the board can ask questions, clarify anything, and deliberate and make a decision. And again, operating as the Board of Adjustments. So pass it over to staff.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, you got all of that right. Same process, just you'll make a motion as the Board of Adjustments. So this is a public hearing to review case number 2515, a variance for 869 Green Street, a variance to allow the reconstruction of an existing garage while maintaining its existing non-conforming rear setback along the alley and northern side setback. And the construction of a porch that extends beyond the allowable setback encroachment at 869 Green Street within the MU1 downtown mixed-use zoning district. And the applicant is Rebecca Rhodes, being assisted by Dean Bosworth. Let's see here. Okay. Here is a visual of the project location. And all required documents were submitted on July 2nd. Okay. So the applicant would like to build an accessory dwelling unit to provide a rental unit and add a breezeway with a covered porch connecting the primary dwelling to the garage and to the ADU. There is an existing legally non-conforming garage which encroaches into the side and into the rear setbacks on the property. Based on the location of the propane tank on the property, which requires a 10-foot setback, the applicant has identified an addition to the garage as the best location for an ADU. However, to build that ADU as an addition to the garage would need to be reconstructed. And to work with the site layout, the applicant has identified the need to keep it in its non-conforming location, which is why they're requesting a variance. And the breezeway structure will be within setbacks, but the porch and the overhang are proposed to encroach to match the existing geometry of the building, and to provide adequate snow cover over the entrance, because this entrance will be on the north side. So making sure that there's adequate cover for snow is important when you have a north-facing entrance. So the purpose of this review, per Silverton Municipal Code, section 15840, variance requests are reviewed and decided on by the Board of Trustees, acting as the Board of Adjustments. And the final action goes into a resolution, which is recorded with the county. So if you all choose to move forward with approving this or approving this with conditions, it will be recorded via a resolution. Here is a visual of the project site. You can see the front here, and then you can see in the back the garage. And then here is the site plan. So as I noted earlier, the applicant is requesting a variance to allow a new garage to be constructed, maintaining the existing non-conforming rear and northern setbacks. While the garage footprint remains the same, the second floor ADU will be offset to comply with the required 5-foot setback. And the current garage and proposed garage would be 8 inches away from the alley, which you can see on the site plan in your packet. And then the porch of the overhang encroachment. So the applicant is also proposing to construct a breezeway, which would act as a mudroom and entrance connecting the primary dwelling to the ADU and the garage. The structure would meet setbacks, but the porch would protrude beyond, 3 feet, 6 inches into the setback, which is beyond the permitted encroachment of 2 feet. And this would allow the porch to match the existing geometry of the structure. And the porch would include an overhang that protrudes 4 feet, 6 inches beyond the permitted encroachment of 3 feet, 6 inches. And the overhang, as I mentioned, would be to protect the entrance from snow shedding. And if all those numbers were confusing, here is it laid out on the table, which is also in your packet and in the resolution. So now the variance review criteria. So these next few sections are how the application is reviewed. So the applicant must establish extraordinary hardship, and the applicant has identified reconstruction as a more cost-effective and more overall effective alternative to performing renovations to the garage, which would be permitted under the non-conforming section of land use code. And the cost associated with renovations would actually make the project unfeasible for the applicant, whose goal is to add a new rental to the market. The next criteria section or review criteria is that exceptional conditions exist. And so the land use code does require that propane tanks be located at or beyond 10 feet from the nearest structure, which includes adjacent structures, which property owners do not have control over. So the propane tank is a little bit further into the lot than what they would like. And the existing single unit dwelling and the adjacent structure, the liquor store, makes it difficult to add an accessory dwelling unit to the property, which is why the applicant identified above the garage as the best space for an accessory dwelling unit. And then preserving the intent of the code. So the intent of the non-conforming section of the code is to allow the continued use of legally non-conforming structures until they are destroyed, abandoned, or replaced. And as this happens, non-conforming structures are replaced with conforming ones. So the applicant can keep this garage, they can maintain it, but it's cost prohibitive to do so with adding the accessory dwelling unit. So they are proposing to reconstruct on the same exact footprint with the same geometry. And then all additions would be meeting setbacks as required per the non-conforming section of the land use code. And then the public health, safety, and welfare. Staff's biggest concern with this proposal is the proximity to the alley and its current form and future impacts to plowing. But this proposal does include an accessory dwelling unit, which the applicant intends to rent out. So these applications get sent out to other departments, and upon review, Public Works expressed support for the project, but they would like to see a condition added of a minimum of 2 feet setback on the rear to improve snow plowing access along the alley. So staff is recommending approval of the resolution, Resolution 2519, with the condition to maintain a minimum of a 2-foot rear setback to accommodate public works operations. So now your action is to either approve the resolution, approve with conditions, deny the resolution, or table to a date certain. And I have sample motions with the full resolution language included in your packet. And unless you have any initial questions, I'll hand it over to you to open it up to the applicant.
Thank you. Any initial questions, or should we move on to the applicant?
Would that 2-foot rear setback hinder their project at all as plans, or?
That I think is something that they will be able to comment on.
All right, why don't we invite the applicant? So we'd love to hear from the applicant.
You want me to go ahead?
You can come on forward, Dean, that's great.
I'm Dean Bosworth. I'm representing the owner, Becky Rhodes, who's here. And I did not hear I think probably the best thing for me to do would be to just answer questions since Lucy gave such a thorough overview of what we're trying to do. So I'm open to questions, and I did not hear yours.
Yeah, so will that 2-foot rear setback recommendation, will that hinder your projects, or is that?
We can work with the 2-foot. We were right now at the overhang is on the property line, which means if the wall line is 2 feet in, it still would allow us to do the project substantially. I mean, we'd like every inch we could get, but it'll still work with that.
Like to see this project move forward.
Thanks, Dean. So I know we do also want to open it up for public comment. So if you don't have anything to add to what Lucy added, Dean, I think what we'll do is we'll open it up for public comment, and then we can have, back and forth discussion. Does that work? Sounds like, okay, great. All right, well, now we'll open it up for public comment. I assume we don't have any in-person public comment beyond our applicant. So if there's anybody on Zoom that would like to make a public comment, you can click the raise hand button. And again, this is a public comment for this public hearing for this variance request. All right, seeing no raised hands on Zoom, we'll close public comment, and I open it up to the board, discussion, deliberations, and questions. So I'll invite you back up, Dean. We're just trying to follow process. We want to make sure we follow process. So questions for the applicant or for staff on this project?
No more for me.
If I could go.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Please.
I mean, adding more rentals in this community is great, so I'd love to see it go through.
Great. Lucy thinks that was really detailed. I think the outlining, Tyler, you've served on board of adjustments. Jim, have you before? Probably. I appreciate kind of giving us the various criteria, and Dean, thank you in your application for really outlining it for us. To me, this seems like no brainer. It matches what's already there. It fits the character of the neighborhood.
Yep.
And it adds more usability to the property. So.
I would add one thing, because I know we're gonna see another application like this, and I think we're probably gonna see a lot more of these, or I hope so. I think this is a really good idea. And it doesn't concern me with this building at all because of where it sits on the street in the alley. The one thing that we might need to think about moving forward is if we're giving variances for setbacks and they're gonna build a new building, there is a question of if it's like near another residential house, what materials are they going to use to build if they're not going to use the setback, are they going to be up to code for fire? So,
Right,
But-
that's the reason why we have this.
again, this one,
Yeah.
the way it sits,
Yeah.
there's no issue at all, but I think moving forward, it's going to be something we're going to have to maybe think about, so.
Well, and I'd be curious in kind of how it plays out, because in this instance, we have an existing structure already. We might have other applications where there's a request for a variance where there wasn't a non-conforming structure previously, and that we might have a different conversation there.
Yeah.
We have the criteria, right,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah. Exactly, so, and I think one great thing about the code is that in general, a lot of the setbacks and code language reduce some of those in general. So, but we have an old town where things were built all kinds of different ways throughout the history of the community. So, right. All right. So is there any questions first for the condition from Public Works? Or moving forward with that? Okay, well, our options, Lucy, do you want to put up the motions up
Yes,
again, please?
sure.
With the,
And the full language is not on, will not be on the screen.
right.
With the conditions.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Because we have
Absolutely.
the full language on our, in our packet,
Yeah.
but just the condition.
Yes. Let me pull it up.
So page 68 has the motions, and then Lucy can give us the conditions.
I see the condition I hit.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Is the condition, I think, like the garage must maintain a minimum 2-foot rear setback to accommodate public works operations. Is that okay? Language to say?
Mhm.
Okay, great. I'll move to approve 2025-19, a resolution of the town of Silverton approving the case number 25-15 variance 869 Green Street, requesting a dimensional standard variance to allow the reconstruction of an existing garage while maintaining its existing non-conforming rear setback along the alley and northern side setback, and to permit construction of a porch that extends beyond the allowable setback encroachment, with the following conditions: that the garage must maintain a minimum 2-foot rear setback to accommodate public works operations.
Great, roll call, please, Melina.
Trustee Robertson? Yes. Trustee Wakefield?
Yes.
Trustee Schneider?
Yes.
Trustee Gardner? Yes. Trustee George?
Yes.
Pro Tem Harper?
Yes.
Franker?
Yes. Great, happy building, Becky. Good luck. And I think, Dean, we have you for another one, right?
Yes, we do.
Great.
Just the condition.
All right, Lucy, anything else you need from us?
Nope, we're all set.
Okay. All right, we're moving on to agenda item 7B, Board of Adjustments Public Hearing for Variance Application for 1553 Reese Street. And again, process is the same. We'll hear from staff, we'll hear from the applicant, we'll take any public comment, and then we'll have trustee discussion, deliberations, and decision.
Sounds good. Thank you. Yes, this is public hearing to review case number 2516, a variance application requesting a dimensional standard variance to allow the proposed reconstruction of an existing non-conforming single unit dwelling while maintaining the existing non-conforming northern side setback located at 1553 Reese Street within the R1 neighborhood residential zoning district. And the applicant is Amy and Bradley Martin, who are online. Have Dean Bosworth here who assisted them. Great. Here is a visual of where the site is, and all required documents were submitted on July 7th. Okay, the applicant requests a dimensional standard variance to allow the reconstruction of a single family dwelling at 1553 Reese Street. The proposed design will maintain the existing non-conforming northern side setback of 2 feet 10 inches where 7 feet is required by code, and reconstruct the building within the existing footprint and overall structural geometry. So essentially, this applicant is proposing to rebuild pretty much the same exact house in the same exact location. And then a porch in the rear that exceeds the permitted encroachment is also proposed. And this is required per Silverton Municipal Code 15840N. Variances are reviewed by the Board of Trustees acting as a Board of Adjustments with final action taken by resolution adoption and recorded with the county. Here is a photo of the project site, and you can see the house. If you look at the fence, you can see the house is located on the northern property line or very close to it. So the applicant is requesting a variance to allow the reconstruction of the structure. Here again is the dimensions and the site plan, which is in your packet. And then for the encroachment on the deck, it is proposed to be 1 foot 4 inches away from the property line, where a minimum of 3 is typically required. And then here again is that table laying it out. And then the review criteria. So first, as extraordinary hardship, the applicant notes that the redevelopment of the existing structure would create hardship relieved by the demolition and total reconstruction. And then lists all the reasons why, which is in your packet. Exceptional conditions exist. So this block is a little bit unique to Silverton, where all of the structures on this block are located very close to the northern property line. And so this is partially being requested to maintain the kind of historic street character of this block. And there is a precedent set for this. In 2023, a similar project was approved on this block to allow the reconstruction of an existing non-conforming house to be built closer to the northern property line. And then again, so the intent, so this again, it's unique in that this block is a bit different from the rest of Silverton, which is not something that is really identified in the land use code. And staff has not identified any negative impacts to the health, safety, and welfare of the community by allowing such deviation. So staff finds that the application meets criteria for granting variance and aligns with previous approvals and recommends approval of resolution 2025-20. And then there was also, we received a public comment from Bev Rich, who is the neighbor directly to the north. And she was requesting approval to maintain the historic layout of the block. And her letter also includes some interesting history on that block. So your action is to either approve resolution 2025-20, approve the resolution with conditions, deny the resolution, or table the resolution for a date certain. And the full sample motions are included in your packet and abbreviated on screen. And I will hand it over to you to hand it over to the applicant.
Great, thanks, Lucy. All right, well, I'd invite the applicant up. Do the applicants online want to be promoted to panelist? And then did you want to come up in case there's any thing you wanted to add?
I think that Brad and Amy were.
Great. Perfect, great. All right, we'll take a moment to promote the applicant to panelist.
Hey there.
Hi there, we can hear you and see you.
Good. So Brad Martin here, my wife Amy. So we bought the house 11 years ago with intent to eventually live in it, and we're looking forward to doing some improvements. When we started working with Dean and looking into that, we had the foundation looked at and determined by Lauren Liu and determined that needed to be redone. And that cascaded a bunch of different discussions and decisions. And it ultimately, I think you said it well, Lucy, we want the same house and the same footprint, just built to current codes.
Great, thanks, Brad. All right, we'll now open it up for public comment. Do we have any Zoom public comment about this public hearing? You can click the raise hand button. We'll promote you to panelist and you'll have 3 minutes. Okay, seeing none, we'll close public comment. Again, I'll note for the record that we did have a written public comment provided. It's in the packet there, and Bev Rich provided some great context and support for this project. All right, we'll open it up to board discussion deliberations for the applicant or for staff. Questions, comments? Go ahead, Dean. Yeah.
I have no questions. I have no issues approving this. I think it makes a lot of sense.
All right. That was
I think to Tyler's point, again, paying attention to instances where we have code for a certain way, but I think this is a pretty unique block where, again, to Bev's point, to Lucy's point, to the applicant's point, this is how that whole block looks. So, and we've approved this before.
I think one of the reasons this is not a simple case, but because staff and the applicant have done a really good job at presenting information clearly, concisely, and added, the conditions in the packet. So it makes it easy to understand and easy to approve.
Well said, Lindsay.
And a letter of support from Miss Silverton herself. That was perfect.
Great house.
Good neighbor. Yeah.
Wonderful neighbor.
Any comments or concerns from any other board members? Oh, great. All right. Well, you can find your motions. Well, you guys might just keep letting Amy do it.
I'll move I'll move to approve resolution 2025-19, a resolution of the town of Silverton. Resolution 2025-20, a resolution of the town of Silverton approving case number 25-16, variance 1553 Reese Street, requesting a dimensional standard variance to allow the proposed reconstruction of an existing non-conforming single-unit dwelling while maintaining its existing non-conforming northern side setback.
Second.
Roll call, please, Melina?
Yes.
Trustee Wakefield? Trustee Schicker?
Yes.
Gardner?
Yes.
Trustee George?
Yes.
Pro Tem Harper?
Yes.
Yes. Great, good luck. Brad and Amy, thank you, Dean. Looks
Thank
like
you.
Thank
we're keeping- That's a good thing.
Thank you, Lucy.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Lucy. The memos were really excellent and well presented. All right, we're moving on to agenda item 7C. This is a public hearing for the first reading of ordinance 2025-10, an ordinance of the town of Silverton amending chapter 15, articles 8 and 11 of the Silverton Land Use Code regarding deed restrictions for the expedited review of affordable housing developments. Again, we are no longer acting as the Board of Adjustments. We are now acting as the Board of Trustees. And this will be like a typical public hearing. We'll hear from staff and we'll open it up to public comment, and then we'll have trustee discussion, deliberations, and decisions. So take it away, Lucy.
Okay, thank you. Yes, so before you for consideration is ordinance 2025-10, amending chapter 15 and chapter 15, article 8 and 11 related to the town's expedited review process to align with Prop 123 requirements. And as a reminder, Proposition 123 establish an affordable housing fund for municipalities that opt into the program, which Silverton has done. And as an opted-in community, we are required to adopt an expedited review process for affordable housing, which we did during the land use code. And during that process, the community and this board identified the need to preserve affordable housing. So in our language for how you can, apply for an expedited review, we added a clause that requires projects to be affordable for 99 years in order to qualify for that expedited review process. And so DOLA has reviewed our adopted code section, and they actually plan to use our code as a model code for other communities, which is great. But they did identify one issue, which is that the clause requiring the units to be affordable for 99 years is too restrictive for their requirements. So in order to maintain our community's intention that was kind of established during the land use code, but also to provide flexibility encouraged by DOLA, we're proposing to amend the language by moving the 99-year clause to the definition section. So that'll be under the definition of affordable housing.
Yeah.
And also adding a clause that the project or the developer can enter into a development agreement with the town to kind of, record some other way of the project being affordable for a long time. So this is kind of, more of a housekeeping item really to make sure that we're aligned with Prop 123. And also the reason why we're bringing this to you now rather than later in the year when, the deadline is because communities that opt in early can be eligible for $50,000 in a DOLA planning capacity grant. And this grant can support the salary of our housing authority director.
Great. Thank you, staff. All right, we'll now open it up to public comment for this public hearing. If you have a public comment on this agenda item for this ordinance, you're welcome to click the raise hand button and we'll promote you to panelist. All right, seeing none, we'll close public comment and move on to trustee discussion, deliberation, and decision. I really like the flexibility. I like those suggestions of the opportunity that a developer could work with us on some different affordability clause. So I appreciated that option. And I'm happy we're moving forward with this and hitting above our weight in many things.
Yeah.
Well done, staff.
Me too.
Was there any, from the planning commission perspective, this was all, the planning commission saw this as well and.
They did.
Yeah.
We discussed this on July 15th.
Mhm.
And it was approved unanimously.
Great. Any questions, concerns, or would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 25-10. An ordinance of the town of Silverton amending chapter 15, article 8 and 11 of the Silverton Land Use Code regarding deed restrictions for the expedited review of affordable housing developments.
Second.
Great, roll call please, Melina?
Trustee Robertson?
Yes.
Trustee Wakefield?
Yes. Yes.
Trustee Gardner?
Yes.
Trustee George?
Yes.
Pro Tem Harper?
Yes.
Mayor Kränker?
Yes, great, thank you, thanks, Lucy. That was a lot of public hearings. Oh, that was talking.
Sorry, you don't have to hear me for the rest.
We love hearing from you, thank you for your memos. Okay. We're moving on to agenda item 7D. This is also a public hearing. This is for resolution 2025-18. This is a resolution appropriating additional sums of money to defray expenses in excess of amounts budgeted for the town of Silverton, Colorado. Again, we will hear from staff. We will open up for public comment and we'll have trustee discussion, deliberation, and decisions.
All right, so this is another housekeeping item. As recommended by the accountant, I have drafted the attached supplemental budget for 2024. While we did a supplemental budget for these accounts in 2024 in December, the projections were not high enough. So adopting this aligns and acknowledges that the board understands these overages and gives these accounts, and that's sewer, refuse, and the Silverton Housing Authority documentation they might need for future lending.
Thank you. All right, we'll open it up for public comment. We have no in-person public, so we would invite anyone on Zoom. If you have a public comment related to this agenda item, please click the raise hand button and we'll promote you to panelist and you'll have 3 minutes. Okay, seeing none, we'll close public comment and we'll move on to trustee discussion, deliberations, decisions. Questions for staff or comments?
Do not have any.
All right.
It's pretty straightforward.
Again, housekeeping.
I move to adopt resolution 25-18, a resolution appropriating additional sums of money to defray expenses and excess amounts budgeted for the town of Silverton, Colorado.
Second.
Okay, roll call please, Melina.
Trustee Robertson?
Yes.
Trustee Wakefield?
Yes.
Yes.
Trustee Gardner? Yes. Trustee George?
Yes.
Pro Tem Harper?
Yes.
Mayor Kränker?
Yes. Great, thank you. Moving on to agenda item 7E, this is San Juan Development Association request for funding for entrance signs.
All right, so if we could promote Sarah Moore.
Can everyone hear me?
We can, Sarah, go ahead. Thanks for joining us.
Awesome. Give me just one moment to share my screen. And let's see. All right, can you all see my presentation now?
We can only see half your screen. Do I have?
All right.
No, it looks like. There we go.
Yeah.
Yep, we can see it
Okay,
now.
perfect. All right, so here is our current entryway signs. This evening, San Juan Development is here to request $15,000 from the town of Silverton to help support the new installation of our signage. This photo was taken last fall and I just visited the signs a couple days ago and they have gotten even worse. So they are declining pretty rapidly. Just to give you all a project overview, what we have done the past 6 months. So in November of last year of 2024, we applied for a CDOT Revitalizing Main Streets grant. We were denied in January. So next steps, we hired local graphic designer, Kat Ochabova, and San Juan Development used our Main Street mini grant fund to hire her to create 3 design mock-ups. Those design mock-ups were reviewed by our San Juan Development Association board with some design feedback, and then they finalized a selected design. And then that design was brought to San Juan County Commissioners and they approved that design mock-up. So you will see that approved one in a couple slides later. So next steps, we are going through a community fundraising initiative right now. We have a campaign that is live through our fundraising page donor box. We have, reached out to a number of private partnerships and public partnerships. We have raised $465 through individual donations so far since we went live a little over a week ago. And now we are requesting funding support from you all. So our San Juan Development Association Board of Directors includes Willie Tukey, Kim White, Laura Lewis Marchino, Gloria Cashberger, and Deanne Gallegos. And this was a team that selected the final design mock-up, and then the commissioners approved that design mock-up for the $25,000 match that they are giving us. Currently, this is what our signs look like. Sign A is right across from Whistle Stop, as you all know, and then sign B faces traffic coming in from Uray. The current sign B, the lighting is not working over there. Lighting is working on sign A, but sign A obviously is taking a little bit more impact from the sun and weather. So how do we get visitors to turn left? New signage equals more revenue for us, for our community. CDOT AADT, our average daily traffic count on Highway 550 is about 2,000 to 2,500 cars daily, not including larger trucks, I guess. And we can see a 10 to 15% higher foot traffic just with clear signage and increased spontaneous visits from passing vehicles. This is our final design mock-up for phase 1. So phase 1 just really includes the implementation of the main signage. Personally, we just need to get this installed and get it up. We need to have this displayed, and once we get this implemented, we can move into phase 2, which would include auxiliary signage hanging on the side of the sign for seasonal events, economic drivers like the train and Silverton Mountain as well. And this design will be made by Ken Webb. We have a full marketing campaign for this fundraiser, which was supported by our Chamber of Commerce. So our flyer on the left, and then we do have some social media content that we've put out there as well, in partnership with the Chamber and the county. So finalizing my presentation, we need you all's support. Our signage does not represent who we are right now. It's really falling apart, and we need to show that Silverton is a beautiful place and we want people to visit. So thank you all for listening.
Thanks, Sarah.
Yep.
I just want to even give a little bit more community background. So since even before I joined the Board of Trustees, community members and business owners would come to me and be like, what are we going to do about those signs? They're terrible. And we had the wayfinding master plan from 2017. And the very first chamber meeting, I said, Deanne, and there were a bunch of business owners there that were chamber members. And they said, how can we fix the sign? So I said, Gloria, Deanne, we can do this. This is low hanging fruit. And that turned into an RFP that the previous board approved. We went out, we said, we love the wayfinding master plan from 2017, and no one responded. So we didn't even get bids. Then we were working with a group out of Montrose that gave us a bid for $500,000, which was
pretty legit.
and that was like a monument. It was a little outside. And so I am thrilled, Sarah, thrilled to see a bid that feels very much within the realm of budgetarily feasible. It's designed and implemented by locals, including Kat and Ken Webb. And I think the county really stepped up with some of those tourism funds and marketing funds. And so I would really argue that it's time for the town to help support getting this project going. This still feels like low hanging fruit. It just was 5 years ago, low hanging fruit. It's still hanging there. So I think this is great. It's time to get it done. I appreciate the county's support. And one thing to note too, with the county's funding, and we talked about this in the chamber meeting, is that it's really a grant match. So if we're not able to raise all the funding, then the county's funding is not available. So let's make it happen. My appeal would be for the town to support this, the county supporting it. Chamber members, we had a great conversation at our chamber board meeting about how business owners could help and chamber members. And then we already have individuals donating. So I think this is a great thing it's time to fund it and complete it. So that's my pitch to help you along, Sarah.
Thank you. Yeah, I think
Here.
one thing that you mentioned is the 2017 wayfinding master plan. I think these signs definitely match the theme that was used in that, and then we can continue our plan for more wayfinding throughout our town too. So
thanks, Sarah. And this is just the first start. And again, I think the look and feel feels good for the community. It's simple, kind of shows our history of mining and our history of mountains. And present experience. So I would say, let's get it done, folks. It's fine.
Yeah. I think you said it very well. I completely agree. This project's been a long time coming and I love the design of the new signs. I'm in complete support as well.
My question is, did we budget for this?
No.
No.
Where's the money gonna come from?
This would be an unfunded request, or like basically out of our coffers. So financially, we could afford it, because if you look at our financials on page 25 of the packet, or it's 14 of the financial statements, we are $266,000 in the black year to date in the general fund. And for context, last year we were negative $701,000 in the red.
So we did good saving for the future.
Yes, we are doing good saving for the future.
We're not done yet.
Not done yet.
We're not done yet. Yeah. I think that's a great point, Tyler. It's a good thing to bring up.
Just because I know after last year,
Last year was painful.
no, because no, I think we were thoughtful when we were spending money, but I also didn't think every time quite as hard. Like, it wasn't like, where's this coming from? And what are we gonna do at the end of the year when we're $700,000 in the red again? So just keeping that in mind when we're making these unbudgeted, approving these unbudgeted expenses.
Yep, good perspective.
But those signs haven't been needing to be replaced for a long time also.
Anyone opposed or?
Is it just direction or motion or both?
I think we would be giving staff direction to spend the unbudgeted funds, or do we have to make a motion?
It could be a motion.
Okay.
And I will probably do a resolution in the next one, since it was unbudgeted.
Yeah.
So it would go into our consent agenda.
Gotcha. Right.
I guess it would be direction to write the resolution to approve.
Right. We make the motion.
I think that went through, yep.
We make the motion as part of approval of the consent agenda next time.
Yeah.
I think, Tyler, you raised a really good point. I think this still feels really in line with priorities. It's not like totally out of left field of, something. But it's good to have those conversations for sure.
Do we anticipate any more funds other than the $465 through private and public partnerships?
We had this conversation at the chamber. I think I would argue that the town putting forward and taking this step can really help jumpstart the fundraising. I think it sends a strong signal to our business community, to chamber partners, to the rest of the community. And so, Sarah, maybe you can add on to that, but I would argue that if we can show the county backing this, the town backing this, I think that really goes a long way to getting this finished. But Sarah, did you have other thoughts on that as far as, can we raise the rest of the money?
I believe we can. We have reached out to Silverton Mountain requesting a larger donation as they are one of our key economic drivers in town. My plan is to discuss this with the train as well, especially if we can work with both of them to advertise them seasonally, so in summer and winter through that auxiliary signage in phase 2. So that's my plan for our larger donations, but I do think we can raise that as long as we have some commitment from the town. So
Thanks, good question, Ron. So if we have the 25,000 from the county and then 15,000 from the town is what you're requesting.
yes.
So we'd still need, wait,
Another 10.
additional 10, yeah, because that 5,000 contingency.
Right.
Yes, okay. I mean, $10,000 is still a lot to raise from this community.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we, if Sarah, you don't get the $5,000, it's not,
Contingent, yeah.
yeah, we're not. It's similar to the county, it's just kind of like a match, we're like just trying to stack things and match them up, so we're not. Okay,
Yep.
there's what I'm
Yes.
saying, sorry if I'm not communicating that well.
Yeah, if we only come up with $50,000, are we still going ahead?
Yes, we are. I think so that 5,000, the extra 5,000 is just making sure, especially with some costs with metal and steel and things like that with Ken, just to make sure that we can pay for that fabrication if the prices do go up. But Ken did say that it's not too big of an issue with him at the moment. So.
I think Amy asked a good question. Would anyone like to make a strong oppositional argument to not giving staff direction?
I know Tyler, just careful on budget expenses. We also said no to a lot of things last year. No strong opposition, just cautiousness.
I think we'll have the opportunity to have some of those prioritization conversations as we move into the budget season, really, for this next round, because we will have a better sense of where we are with our actuals through the summer too. Okay, so am I hearing staff being directed with some caution for future budget expenses? Is that what I'm hearing? Okay, all right, staff, consider yourself directed.
Okay.
Great, thank you, Sarah. Good luck.
Thank you all so much.
All right, we're moving on to agenda item 7F. This is the Hard Rocker Holidays 2025 contract renewal. And we'll hear from staff, and I know we have a representative here if we have questions.
Yes, so before you all is the track changed version of the Hard Rockers contract. This is a 3-year contract starting this year and ending in 2028. Changes include administrative edits, increasing the camper permit from 75 to 150 campers. I would note that the free usage has been taken out and they would be charged the nonprofit rate. And the organization is meeting this month to discuss dates for 2026. So there might be an amendment in the future of their new proposed dates if those are available. Right now they are. So just wanted to kind of let you know that. Judy is here, Judy Coleman's here in attendance supporting this contract. But you can direct questions to me or to Judy.
Great, thanks, Gloria. Thanks, Judy, for coming. I'm really excited that this keeps happening. So great to see the updated contract here. Any questions from the board for staff or for Judy?
No.
No. Okay, great. Well, I would entertain a motion to approve the contract for the Hard Rocker Holidays 2025 contract renewal.
So moved.
Second. Tyler moved and Amy seconded. All right, roll call please, Melina.
Robertson? Yes.
Trustee Wakefield?
Yes.
Trustee Schneider?
Yes.
Yes. George?
Yes.
Tim Harper?
Yes.
Cranker?
Yes. Thank you, Judy. Our family's attended a couple years and we're sadly not here this year, but that's something, yeah.
Keep it going.
For keep coming. Want us to add anything, say anything?
No, one thing that the committee wanted me to ask about was barriers. You know, we just normally use the rope to rope off areas. And the barriers that you use for the races, does that belong to the town?
The barricades, the metal ones? Metal barricades?
The metal barricades?
They do.
We'd like to go ahead and block off the entrance on the backside there where the firemen come in. And then right there in front where the committee parks, so people aren't trying to push in there. And they'll just lift up the rope and bring in their car.
Is that something?
How many do you need, Judy?
Pardon?
How many barricades do you think?
Well, we'd need 2 on the backside and maybe 3 or 4 on the front side.
Okay, we can work that out for you.
Okay. And then also, we are going to be hanging banners this year on the inside of the park there. So we wanted to see if the town has a banner that we can hang.
Yes, we can provide you with a banner to hang.
You can provide me with a banner. And basically.
We try to make it easy. Yeah, that's great. All right, and any other questions, feel free to work with staff.
Yeah, does anybody have questions for me?
I just have a statement. I'm happy to see this is for 3 years.
Yeah.
Instead of 1. Keep it going.
Okay, well, this is going to be my 50th year.
Yeah.
1 more wheelbarrow race.
Good to see you.
I'm happy with that. Okay.
It'll be wonderful. Yeah. Thanks, Judy. Thanks for keeping it going.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, thank you. You guys have a good one.
You too. Thanks for coming down. All right, we're moving on. Let's see, discussion and direction items. I just had one thing on here. I know we have Clayton up here. It's the time of year kind of we schedule performance reviews. So I wanted to kind of test out with the board and have a discussion on scheduling performance review for the town attorney. And if we need to give staff direction on sending out the review criteria and scheduling. And then a question I had for you, Clayton, if that's how the board wanted to move forward, is Gloria can work with you on scheduling, but if you prefer to have it in executive session or in a regular meeting. I'm blanking on how we've done it in the past, so just wanted to give you that ability to have that preference.
Yeah, thank you for bringing up that option. I think in the interest of candor and with everything that's going on with executive session challenges, I think it'd be better for the town if it was done in a public meeting. If there's some like personnel issue or some negative feedback that you needed to share with me that you didn't want the public to hear, and that would go in my personnel file and be covered by the sunshine law exclusions, then maybe we would need to revisit that. But I don't mind having it in a public meeting.
Okay, great. Thanks for that input. So again, just this is a question bring up for the board. Have Gloria schedule that and share the review criteria. I think Gloria had a checklist that we can go through and put that on the agenda for upcoming meeting.
Yes.
Any discussion, deliberation, comment? Yep. Okay, great. Thanks, Clayton.
That would likely be on the 25th to give you guys some time to send all that out and get it back. So
Great, August 25th.
August 25th, yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, thanks, Clay. Anything else for discussion or direction items for the good of the board? Okay, moving on to committee reports. This was a very busy time. Jim, how many days were you on?
I was on 5 this
Yes.
past 2 weeks.
Jim gets the citizen of the committee member of the year. There was a lot of committees. All right, we'll start with the Chamber of Commerce meeting. Want me to take that one? Okay. Let me pull up my notes real quick. we are starting to meet quarterly for the chamber, so there was quite a bit to discuss. I use it as an opportunity to really share what's going on at town, because I think it's a great group of kind of engaged business owners and town representatives or people that are connected to town. So a lot of stuff to update the group there on as far as water, sewer, trash, EQRs. We talked about just all the things going on in this building. And then we heard from Sarah, and Jim Walko brought up a great idea in terms of kind of having a business fundraiser, you know, like maybe chamber members could commit, oh, for every $500 were raised, the chamber members would contribute $500. So I think it was a great chance to kind of build on some momentum of everybody pitching in for the signs. Let me pull up the rest of my notes. And, you know, I think we heard that it's, and Jim, I don't, however you want to speak to this, but just kind of hearing from businesses that in general in the tourism sector, like more delayed bookings. I think we're seeing people's visitation patterns. You know, people aren't booking so far out. They're waiting day of, they're booking the night of. Although we were in Durango with the car broken down, we could not get a single hotel in the entire town. So Durango seemed to be doing just fine on Friday night. But I think just seeing different visitation patterns, and so it's kind of hard for businesses to predict what's it going to look like. And we gave an update on the Blair Street work, so that was really appreciated by Bill Walko, who was there. And we talked a lot about trash, so I think some good ideas came up out of that, and just some frustration from business owners who are seeing missed pickups from Bruin, and so feeling like, well, we're paying for this service, but we're not getting the pickups that we're paying for. And so just overall trash management just continues to be a challenge, I think, for both residents and businesses. So there were some good suggestions. People like the idea of the QR code for non-residents being able to pay, but just really looking for ways to continue to brainstorm on how we can help improve service and just manage the flow of trash that we have and refuse. So that came up in the chamber. Else, I think that was about it.
That's good.
We got an update from the business summit and some of that stuff and the Colorado Tourism Office support, but I think that was about it.
For the San Juan development meeting on the 15th, we discussed the entrance signs, which you all approved tonight. And I'm also working with Sarah on a presentation for the board in the fall to highlight some of the economic development initiatives, such as the year-rounder businesses program, Main Streets, Dark Skies, Art Through the Seasons, and just the general sustainability of San Juan development. So look for that in the fall.
Thanks, Gloria. All right, then we had Planning Commission. Lindsay?
I'm sorry, Jim. Abandoned Jim again.
I have the agenda right here in front of me. We had an improvement permit sketch application for the Isaiah Branch Boyle senior load, and that was approved unanimously. George Riley boundary line adjustment approved unanimously. The David Breed improvement permit was approved unanimously. Damon Rose improvement permit approved unanimously. And then the public hearing with regards to the ordinance of the town of Silverton amending chapter 15, articles 8 and 11, which we discussed earlier, and that was approved unanimously.
And all of those.
Other terrific.
Those were all in the county.
Correct.
Great. Thanks for the update. Always good to know what's happening. All right, on to the library board meeting. Gloria?
All right, so the update on the ramp is that we are waiting to submit the stamped plans to History Colorado to ensure that this design will not jeopardize future funding. So we're waiting from the engineer to get that stamp, and we've been waiting for about a month now. So just wanted to let you know, we just want to make sure we dot all our i's and cross all our t's before we begin that construction. And then exciting news, Misty and Aaron won a scholarship to attend a book fair in Guadalajara, Mexico, to connect with Spanish-speaking authors, and we're given a credit to purchase the books to start a Spanish book inventory at the library. So huge opportunity. Again, Misty is definitely just seeking all opportunities. And one of the biggest things was she didn't want just books that had been translated into Spanish. She wanted Spanish-speaking authors. And so she sought this out and was given this amazing grant, and her and Erin will be going there. I think it's in October, so very exciting.
Great.
Or Evan, sorry, not Erin.
Oh. And they had a fundraiser on Saturday.
Saturday night,
Yes, Jim, yeah,
sold out, 50 seats.
yeah, looked fun.
And that was with Los Compañeros, so the local advocacy for immigration.
Great, thanks. Okay, moving on to the finance committee meeting. Let me take that.
I can just
Great, go for it.
pull up the points.
Great.
We reviewed the June financials. The grant update was provided. Budget planning was discussed. And then administrative fees.
Mhm. Fun things to come with.
All fun
admin
things to
fees.
come.
Fun with funds. Yeah, I think good stuff to come with admin fees. I think that's something we've heard from the community is continuing to kind of work through. And it's always that trade-off between, well, how much do these enterprises actually cost to operate? And also, how do we keep both the general fund able to fund the various things we need and want to do, and the enterprise funds able to fund their cost? So more to come on the admin fees, but I think Gloria had some really, if people are more interested in diving into it, there was a great memo in the packet from the finance committee meeting on 7/21, which you can find on our lovely town website that you saw earlier. And some really great ways of just thinking about transparency around how different staff and assets that we have relate to these enterprise funds and how we fund them. So check it out if you want to get in the weeds. All right, the Personnel and Ordinance Committee meeting.
Take that one.
We discussed the Andrew Mountain Development. Carl, I pass you the torch.
All right, well, we had a short meeting of the Personnel and Ordinance Committee to discuss the development guidelines for the Anvil Mountain subdivision. And just so that everybody knows or recalls, Anvil Mountain area is a planned unit development. So there are separate development guidelines which do not live within the land use code. And those are a little bit different than the standards throughout the rest of town. So we discussed some issues that have arisen potentially due to a lack of clarity between those two things, specifically around fences, sheds, and parking. And the requirement in that area underneath the development guidelines is for some off-street parking for each unit because the streets are narrow and winding. So we proposed increasing the required off-street parking from 1 space to 2. So town staff is working on some language that will go into the development guidelines. And that will just help ensure that as that neighborhood gets more dense, we'll still have good access for snow removal and emergency services without having a ton of cars parked on the street. And yeah, I think that was it. It was a short meeting.
Great, thanks. Lots of things that staff and board is working on. All right, utility committee meeting, also exciting.
See, of fun with funds. Yeah, I mean,
Having fun with those funds.
so much fun. Actually, we had a really, we had a good meeting. A lot of public comment, which is always really, I think, helpful, knowing how the community is feeling. So, kind of similar issues that we've heard for a while now. Around affordability, the issues just with PQRs. So first we talked about wastewater treatment planning and got a proposal from an engineer that was pretty expensive, 18 million. So we're holding on. Yeah.
That's kind of what we.
Million.
Yeah, 18 to 24.
18 to 24,
18 to 24 million for the
But
Cadillac of water treatment plants.
Cadillac. Delvin.
so it's like we're gonna be holding on, kind of moving forward with that process for now until we get our new permit from CPG, so we can figure out how we actually need to move forward and what requirements and upgrades we actually need to make. So super fun fund conversation. We talked about EQRs and kind of refining some of those. We had a conversation around total lot size and how we charge for those. So we're breaking them out a little bit more. And I think we'll probably see a resolution in the next meeting. Yeah, around breaking up the EQRs. And then kind of further conversations with wonderful John being here and how we are trying to move back to meters and really move forward on that process. And so we're so grateful to start down that road again and figuring out a way to make EQRs work until we kind of move over to meters. So Band-Aid to get us to the best solution. And then, yeah, just administrative fees. Did I miss anything, guys?
We also talked about the Subaru, Toyota, Honda version of a water treatment plant, which was right around 7 to 9 million, which still does the same job, super awesome, just not as fancy.
If our ammonia permits are okay, or limits. So we need to wait for the permit.
We're a pretty healthy community. I think our ammonia would be okay. Gonna be all right.
Experts. Toyota. It all depends on how what our permit is and what that comes back to. So,
Ron, you had something on it?
No, we just discussed some admin fees on it and how that was figured, and you guys covered everything. It's really quick. It's not that painful.
I would beg to differ, and I do think it is important to start just helping all of us. We are all part of it. We pay the bills, we live here, and our community members understanding that we are facing a multi-million-dollar project. And again, ideally, we will get some grant funding for that. That's the best case scenario. It's part of why we've had to raise rates so that we could be eligible for some of that grant funding. So I know it's painful, but it might mean some free money in the long run. But really, we're never going to be able to ignore the fact that we are a small community, and basic math says if you have 700 or 800 people paying the bills, the utility customers, and you have a multi-million-dollar project that you have to fund, that bill for all of us, basic division says it's still a lot. So I think just helping us all work through that. And I think this board is very committed to seeking out the best solution, to seeking out how we can be in compliance at the lowest price point possible, because we all feel it and we all will pay it. And Lindsay, Jim, and I went to CML. I went to a lot of wastewater treatment conversations, trying to talk to different people of how other communities have done it. And so I think for everybody listening, we just have to keep thinking in our mind that we are a small community and we have a big project coming up, and we are very committed to doing our best to fund it the most efficiently and affordably as we can, but we can't get around the fact that it's a big project. So start getting your heads wrapped around that. Slowly but surely, we'll get there.
Oh, one more thing I forgot to add, which reminded me, and Gloria, can you remind me of our financial advisor's name?
Joey.
Made the suggestion that is a lot of money for, it was like only 100, 600 accounts to bear. So thinking about alternative ways to raise funds for these enterprise, which could be, some sort of tax or fee or some way to help supplement these funds outside of the people who live here, with those millions of people who visit every year.
Thanks, Lindsay. Yeah. At the end of the day, the project will cost what it's going to cost, and we all have to figure out a way for it to be as affordable for everybody as possible.
Check your couch cushion.
Anything else on utilities? Fun stuff. Good stuff. And if anybody hasn't noticed, because it's been relatively not disruptive, we are currently in the middle of a big sewer relining project. So that's the first step. So there's actually a major infrastructure project going on that has been shockingly not very disruptive. So thanks to the group doing that and to staff moving that forward as the first step to getting us towards better infrastructure.
Do we know when they're coming back?
We've been here.
We got a pretty busy schedule for August.
Okay.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm thinking the 11th or 12th. So
You guys working last night?
Yeah, there's, yeah, I'm trying to chase them, covering up manholes that they're done with.
It's those Ninja Turtles that are.
Yeah.
That's how you know you have two boys, three boys, yeah.
All right, thanks, everybody on utility committee. All right, moving on to agenda item 10, open discussion, future agenda items. Anything for the good of the order from board members? Any updates? Mobile market's coming on Friday, so just FYI to everybody, mobile market on Friday from 4 to 5 and in the front of the school. Anything else? Right, okay. All right, moving on to our closing public comment. We don't have anybody in person, so if any of our Zoom participants would like to make a public comment now, you're welcome to. You can click the raise hand button and we'll promote you to panelist and you will have 3 minutes. All right, seeing none, we will close public comment and we will move on. We have a request for executive session pursuant to 24-6-4024 BCRS, conferences with an attorney for the public entity for the purpose of receiving legal advice on negotiations with the BLM on the RMPP land transfer. So if you are on Zoom, we're going to ask you to please log off for this executive session.
Yeah.
Take a few moments. Yeah. And we can take a couple minutes for a new. Okay.
Jen, you're welcome to stay for the conversation or you can head out too.
What time is it?
Fire's doubled in size.
Wait, in the last little bit?
The Elkhorn fire. No, since I looked at it yesterday.
Okay, yeah.
Nothing's not.
Oh,
Yeah, it's 40,000 or 340 acres now.
I know, honestly, if you want watch duty, that's how you get paranoid. I downloaded it and I don't know.
This is crazy.
It's, I mean, that's.
I was driving to the theater, the Durango 9 at the mall to go see F1.
Did you see it?
It's one of the best films I've seen.
That's upstairs?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay,
I would recommend it to anyone.
that's good stuff.
So when I'm pulling up to the light to make a left to turn in, I look up and I'm like, yeah, there's flames all up on the ridge.
Yeah.
And within 20 minutes of starting the film, my brother gets a beep, he gets a call or ping, whatever, then he had to leave. He said, I don't know, what do they do?
It's all on your phone.
It's all on your
You're
phone.
gonna beat, yeah.
He's on Durango Fire, so he had to leave.
Had to run out.
That's 343 acres.
At the Elk.
Mm-hmm, Elkhorn.
Yeah.
I went backpacking near Twilight and like saw it, stuff. I was walking out, I like saw the smoke and I was like, oh my God.
No, we do need to do all those.
We'll do all the motion and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, before you do it. Yeah, I'll wait for Amy to come back and.
Yeah, I'm gonna go, I can lock.
No, they said they're on
Great, yes, thank you.
red level 2 down there, something like that now.
They've evacuated
Possibly 3.
Great.
but they have the forecasters.
Right.
One of the forecasters is right across from
Great.
I'll wait until after.
Just,
the
it's okay.
Good calling.
Okay.
Go for it.
the forecast is
John.
forecasted up to like Cascade. Long way. Like that could happen fairly quickly if the winds change properly and they.
Really?
Oh, what?
Driving up Sunday. Like, I mean, I saw good evening planes and everything flying over.
The good one.
See if they do, see it.
Do you see the photos? That,
Which ones?
the photos
Of the
that,
house in Italy.
know that we were just sent?
I thought it was a house fire.
Yeah.
I don't know how the house lit on fire, but.
There are these photos are just of the fire hawk.
After all the other.
That's New York for a little bit, at a wedding and then.
I don't know who took it.
Upstate, because Rob's family is on my family.
The photo that we were sent?
That was really, really cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The bigger planes are up in the
We
bay.
got for like 10 days, so it's trip.
That Jim sent that email this afternoon?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Way back here, I was like, it was so humid too. It's like,
But scary?
so all the oxygen.
Oh, yeah.
humidity.
I mean, it's just like crazy.
Right when it started.
Yeah. It's not.
Here's the.
And we had Chuck Mangione passed away. What the hell's going on? Yes.
Yeah.
I love Chuck
Wow.
Mangione. He was 84.
Whoa, that was the.
Was he? The Hulk?
The Hulkster.
Hulkster? What the hell's going on?
And I showed Rob that video. He's like, who's cracking up? Okay, funny, right?
Their whole generation.
Yeah, right.
Have you,
Jim, that's just the age we're getting.
have you guys seen Schitt's Creek?
One of my favorites.
Okay, you know the episode about the sign?
Yes.
I can't stop thinking about that. Jokes.
What's he doing behind her?
Don't worry, it's his sister.
It's his sister.
You gotta watch it, Ron. It's so funny. Yeah, I bet.
It's funny.
Told me I should watch a show called Resident Alien. Does anybody watch
Perfect.
it?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, okay.
It's a perfect show.
I like Severance. Severance was
Oh, yeah.
fantastic.
Working my way through that right now.
I finished season 1.
Yeah, it does.
They're like,
Yeah.
my hands are sweating. I'm like, oh my God.
I was in dreams after watching that show.
Yeah. I don't want to give any part of it away, but there's a part towards the end of season 1 where I'm like, what the hell
The
is
shit, you have to lean all the way.
He didn't see it, like the.
wakes up in his closet and he's like freaking out. And
Took me like-
Ethan's friends like crazier.
Okay, so are we unmuted? Okay, I will now entertain a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it was moved by Lindsay, seconded by Amy. This is a request for executive session pursuant to 24-6-4024B CRS. Conferences with an attorney for the public entity for the purpose of receiving legal advice on negotiations with BLM on the RNPP land transfer. We have a motion from Amy, seconded by Lindsay. Motion by Lindsay, seconded by Amy. Roll call, please, Melina.
Trustee Robertson?
Yes.
Trustee Whitfield?
Yes.
Shaker?
Yes.
Trustee Gardner?
Yes.
George?
Yes.
Tim Harper?
Yes.
Frank Krinker?
Yes. Great, so the motion carried, and I'll wait till you turn the recorder